awesome. How are you guys doing? 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 I'm doing fantastic. I'm really excited for this video. I know that this is not really a video I should make in April. It's like a video I should make in January, but I wasn't making ASMR in January and I missed my opportunity. So hopefully you guys still like it. I love talking about books, and I know that a lot of people like my reading voice. So I thought I'd do a video that's mostly reading. I'm gonna read passages out of my favorite reads of this year. I didn't read very many books this year. I definitely reread some faves, and then I've read a couple new ones, but not too many. Sorry, my nose looks a little bit red because I have allergies right now. My bad. Spring allergies. Okay. So, I have a pile of books. Down the floor. And the first book that I'm gonna pick up is actually two books. It's a series. 1 second, sorry. Okay, my bad. The first book, it's a series. There's 2 books. And I DNF'd it. I did not like it. I read the whole first book, and the second book got boring. Well, first of all, let's see if you can guess. Let's see if you can guess. What the book series is. I have it in my lap. Together, both books are this thick. Oh wait, this thick. They're quite long. I DNF'd it because I thought it was too cliche and a little bit too young adult for me. I like some young adult fantasy, but this felt a bit like middle school for me, which is definitely, it's okay to read whatever you want, and I definitely read books still that are definitely young adult, and there's no shame in reading something that's like not marketed towards your age range. Whatever you read is awesome. Also, my cat is literally shitting right now into her box, which is right there. So, that's unfortunate. Hold on, I'm gonna pause. Okay, she's done. The way that she scrapes her litter is so loud, so I needed to pause for a second. But anyways, okay. Don't get back in the box, girl. You're fine. You're done, girl. You're fine. Girl. Anyways. Hey, pay attention. Hey, pay attention. Hey. Focus on me. Focus on me. I'm gonna pause again. Okay. It's 2 books. It's a fantasy. Oh my god. Okay, so the heat is on, so hopefully that's not too loud. Hopefully that's not too loud. Oh, sorry. Sorry for all the interruptions. I low-key gave up, and I'm just gonna reveal what the series was. Six of crows. first book. Um, it's not really my cup of tea. I'm not a huge fantasy person, but I told her I'd give it a try, and I did actually quite like this book. And I don't remember quite why I didn't like this book so much. Maybe I just got bored of it. There was just like too much information. I'm also I'm a big fan of character books, like ensemble character books that give a lot of personality to all the characters. I'm not quite as much a fan of books that have different POVs, but I didn't mind it in this series. There's so many noises in our apartment right now, it's so loud. Anyways, this one was bad, and this one was quite good. So I'm gonna read a passage from this one. I'll read the blurb. Okay, the blurb. The blurb says, Ketterdam, a bustling hub of international trade where anything can be had for the right price, and no one knows it better than criminal prodigy Gaz Bricker. Gaz is offered a chance at a deadly heist that can make him rich beyond his wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heart-render, using her magic to survive the slums, and a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes. Gaz's crew are the only ones who might stand between the world and destruction if they don't kill each other first. If they don't kill each other first. Okay, so before I read these books, I watched that one show. I forget, it's not called Six of Crows, it's called like Raven something. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember. But the show that like combined this book as well as that other one. If you know what I'm talking about, you just know what I'm talking about. And that was quite bad. So I don't know why I thought that I'd like these books, but I'm really trying to like them, and they weren't like awful. They were just maybe not my speed. Oh fuck. Okay. So next we have we have a book that I read again this year for I think really the sixth time. Sorry, my roommate is up and about. So this next book I read for 6 times, and I just finished my most recent rereading of it. It is, and if you're one of my friends watching this video, you know exactly what book I'm about to talk about, because I've never shut up about this book ever in my whole life. This book is a cult classic for a very good reason. The Secret History by Donna Tartt is a classic. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be it came out in the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check. It came out in 1992. But I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a classic one day. Like you can compare it to like Of Mice and Men or whatever. I don't know. That's just the first classic I thought of. But I will. I'll read the blurb for this one as well. Hold on, I need a drink. Okay. Under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life, a world away from their banal contemporaries. But their search for the transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality, Jesus. I can't read today. But basically, this is a very like dark academia book where a bunch of students like murder their friend and have to like explain their way out of it. Explain their way out of it. But the whole book is so interesting because like the murder of their friend is introduced in the very first page, and the rest of the book isn't really about that. They're like so concerned about other things in their own like personal lives, but like the murder isn't even like a forefront of anyone's thought for like most of the book. And again, like I said, I love good characters. And this book is full of them. Very good characters. But you just like fall into this book. It feels very, I wouldn't say real because it doesn't feel real at all, but it feels like very vibrant, and you can really like get sucked into it. I've read this book so many times because even just the writing is so beautiful, and it doesn't feel like a chore. Like sometimes when you're reading something, it just feels like, okay, I want to get to the end of the chapter so I know what happens. And so I can connect these dots and move on. But reading this book is more like, let me sink into these words and let Donna Tartt tell me a story for the 6th time. This is my absolute favorite book. My one situationship over the summer, I let him borrow my copy of this book, and he never got it back to me. So this is a new copy. Very sad, very sad, very sad. But yeah, actually, I want to read a little bit more of this one because this is my favorite book of all time. I'm going to read the first page, maybe. Okay. The snow in the mountains was melting, and Bunny had been dead for several weeks before we came to understand the gravity of our situation. He'd been dead for 10 days before they found him, you know. It was one of the biggest manhunts in Vermont history. State troopers, FBI, even an army helicopter. The college closed. The dye factory in Hampton shut down. People coming from New Hampshire, upstate New York, as far away as Boston. It was difficult to believe that Henry's modest plan could have worked so well despite the unforeseen events. We hadn't intended to hide the body where it couldn't be found. In fact, we hadn't hidden it at all, but had simply left it where it had fell, in hopes that some luckless passerby would stumble over it before anyone even noticed he was missing. This was a tale that told itself simply and well. The loose rocks at the body at the bottom of the ravine, with a clean break in the neck, and the muddy skid marks of dug-in heels pointing their way down. A hiking accident, no more, no less, and it might have been left at that. A quiet tears in a small funeral, had it not been for the snow that fell that night. It covered him without a trace, and 10 days later, when the thaw finally came, the state troopers and the FBI and searchers from this town all saw what they had been walking back and forth over his body, until the snow of it was packed down like ice. That's actually not the first chapter, that was the prologue. But I kind of like the prologue better than the first page anyway. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Okay. Next, I'm going to do another book that I reread this year. Did I buy this book just because I wanted a Barnes classic and because it was pretty? Yes, of course, obviously. fancy hardbacks for a very long time. And as soon as I could finally afford one, I bought it. I did not know anything about Miss Dalloway before I bought this. But I really liked this book. It's one of those books where, well, actually, I can't think of any other book like this book, but nothing really happens. It's just like 200 pages of fancy writing, and then the entire. Okay, so the plot of this book is it's like hosted over a single day of this party over one day, and so you get introduced to the characters, you learn everyone's backstory, but the entire book only lasts like a day. And I had no expectations coming into this book. I knew I really wanted to like Virginia Woolf. I thought it was really important that I liked her because she's just like that girl, you know. So I really wanted to like this book going in, and I did like this book. But I'm a sucker for like action-packed. You know what I mean? So nothing really happens in this book, but I did happen to like this book because of the characters. Again, the characters were so well written in this, and they felt very realistic. And I really resonated with Miss Dalloway in particular, the old lady. I don't know, I felt very connected to her. So I was entranced this entire time, and the writing is just. I would say that Virginia Woolf isn't my favorite author, but she's my favorite writer. I love the way that she puts together sentences and constructs sentences. And I remember reading this book for the first time. I read this book twice in 2 years. But the first time I read it, right when I bought it, it was like the most I had ever gotten sucked into a book since like elementary school. I just felt like I couldn't put this down. So I would recommend this book for like a good if you want to spend 2 days or like one long night doing nothing but reading this book. It's just really nice. Really gorgeous writing. I don't know how else to describe it. It just feels like a fancy book, and not just because it's beautiful. The cover, sorry, but it just feels like it was written. I don't know. If you like this book, you know what I'm talking about. But I am going to read the blurb. As Clarissa Dalloway prepares to host a party, the appearance of a former suitor stirs thoughts about choices she made long ago. Elsewhere in London, the past weighs heavily on Septimus Warren Smith, a man tormented by his wartime experience. Breaking with traditional narrative conventions, Woolf explores the inner lives of her characters in a landmark of modernist fiction. That blurb does not do it justice at all. So I'm going to read the first page, maybe. Or actually, I'll read the first line and then I'll skip around. Because the first line is very famous. Miss Dalloway said that she would buy the flowers herself. I don't know, I just quite like that a lot. Damn. I forgot there's lesbians in this book. Damn. Okay, I need to reread this book again. Here, I'll read this paragraph, I guess. A terrible confession it was. He put his hat on again. But now, at the age of 53, one scarcely needed people anymore. Life itself, every moment of it, every drop of it here, this instant now in the sun, in Regent's Park was enough. Too much indeed. A whole lifetime was too short to bring out, now that one had acquired the power, the full flavor to extract every ounce moments of pleasure, every shade of meaning, which both are so much more soft than they used to be, so much less personal. It was impossible that he should ever suffer again as Clarissa had made him suffer. For hours at a time, pray God that one might say these things without being overheard. For hours and days he never thought of Daisy. Could it be that he was in love with her then? Remembering the misery, the torture, the extraordinary passion of those days, it was a different thing altogether. A much pleasanter thing. The truth being, of course, that she was in love with him. And that perhaps was the reason why, when the ship actually sailed, he felt an extraordinary relief, wanted nothing more, so much as to be alone, was annoyed to find all her little attentions, cigars, notes, a rug for the voyage, in his cabin. Every one, if they were honest, would say the same. One doesn't want people up to 50. One doesn't want to go and telling women they are pretty. That's what most men of 50 would say. Peter Walsh thought, if they were honest. Sorry, I read more than I wanted to because I got so sucked in. That's what I mean. I just want to keep reading it because it just is so, like, these characters are so much older than I am, but their experiences still feel so real and so connected to where I am at in life. It makes me feel a lot better about myself. Okay. Also, my drink of the day is a Waterloo tropical fruit because I'm quitting caffeine. I quit caffeine. Crazy. Okay. Next, we're gonna do a book that I actually have not read yet that I just bought, but I'm really excited about. I sneeze. Okay. I sneezed. Also, really quick, just a funny little side note. The whole reason that I'm doing a reading themed video today is because I've been feeling so tired recently. I don't know if I'm like burnt out or getting sick or whatever, but I've just been exhausted. And so I like didn't get out of bed till like 2 today, and I spent the entire morning writing supernatural fan fiction. So that's where I'm at in life right now. In case you wanted to know, in case you wanted to know, maybe I'll drop my AO3 account in the comments. I'm a huge fanfiction writer. I don't actually post a lot of it because it's bad, but I do have one Batman fic posted that got some hate because it's out of character. I don't care. Whatever. Anyways, we have the history of a tradition, or no, the history of a temptation, Spice. It's just a nonfiction book on the history of using spices, which, I mean, everyone knows that they were like really valuable and were used to trade a lot, but I don't know the specifics, so I bought this book and I'm really excited about it. I will read the back. No, I don't. I don't actually want to read the back of this one. I will read. I guess I will read the back. I will read the book. The back of the book, I lied. In this brilliant, engrossing work, Jack Turner explores an era from ancient times through the Renaissance, when what we now consider common condiments were valued in gold and blood. Sorry, I don't know what's happening to me. Spices made sour medieval wines palatable, camouflaged the smell of corpses, and served as wedding night aphrodisiacs. Indispensable for cooking medicine, worship, and arts of love, they are thought to have magical properties and were so valuable that they were often kept under lock and key. For some, the spice represented paradise. For others, the road to predation. But they are potent symbols of wealth and power, and the wish to possess them drove explorers to circumnavigate the globe, and even to scavenging, following spices across continents and through literature and mythology. Spice is a beguiling narrative surprisingly fast influence spices have laid on human desire. Wow, 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 wow. Yeah, I'm excited about that. As soon as soon as finals weeks are over, as soon as the last month of school is over and my capstone in my lab is finished, I will be reading. I will be reading. I swear on it. I will be reading. I just can't. I don't have time for anything anymore. And I'm so tired and so burnt out. My life is so hard. Okay. Okay. Next is a book that I actually did read all the way through and finished it even. I read this over the summer. Did I read it? Yeah, I read it over the summer. Over the summer, you can see I bought it for $5 at Half Price Books. I'm a moderate. I like Ray Bradbury quite a bit. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of Ray Bradbury. This is a hot take. This is gonna give me some flack. But to me, Ray Bradbury is the epitome of a good author. But it's obvious, like he's a male. If you know what I mean. Like authors can be good, but also it's just so obvious to me when an author is a guy, especially like in the 60s and 70s when he was writing. That, and I also just don't usually love sci-fi themed books. But I did love this book. This is actually probably my favorite book of his, other than Slaughterhouse-Five. Actually, I might like this more than Slaughterhouse-Five. But yeah, this entire book is like short stories, and they're based off of this guy's like tattoos. It's hard to explain, but like, the tattoos come to life, and they each have their own little story. The first story in here is called the field or the veld. I'm not sure. The VELD. The VELD. The first story in here is like about these. This is a family living in a like futuristic suburb, and their children have this playroom that you can like program to like look like anything, like look like outer space, or like the one that they do in the book is it's like African African savannah. Oops. So the playroom is like a projection of the African savannah, and you can play in it, and it feels like real and like hot and stuff. And it gets really weird and creepy, and it's just that first short story. All the short stories in this book are so good, but the first one, like I haven't stopped thinking about since I read it in the summer. Like it's just like always on my mind, and I reference it all the time, and no one knows what I'm talking about because obviously it's just like this one chapter of an old fucking book. But I don't know. To me, it's a big deal. I'm always thinking about that chapter. And hopefully, if you've read this book, you know what I'm talking about because it's just so crazy. Okay, maybe I'll try to find. Maybe I'll read the end of this verse. Okay, I'll read the first little bit of the first bit. Okay. George, I wish you'd look at the nursery. What's wrong with it? I don't know. Well, then, I just want you to look at it. It's all. We're calling a psychologist to look at it. What would a psychologist want with the nursery? You know very well what he'd want. His wife paused in the middle of the kitchen and watched the stove, busy humming to itself, making supper for four. It's just that the nursery is different now than it was. Alright, let's have a look. It's hard to explain why I love this so much. Just go, please read it. If you read any books that I'm recommending today, this one, because no one's ever heard of this book that I've talked to. It's like one of the unknown books that he's written, I guess. Sorry, I feel like I look fucking crazy today. All I did today was go to the lab, and it really took it all out of me. I'm so tired. Um, so I was reading this book. I was reading Beloved by Toni Morrison this year, and I got this far because this book made me so fucking sad I had to put it down. It tore me apart, and I'm not in a place right now where I can read a sad book, or like a book this sad, because it's just gonna ruin me forever. And I'm a very sensitive and emotional person, and if I read a book that's really sad, it's gonna make me like actually like physically really sad for months, and I just can't. I don't have the capacity for that right now. Um, I told my roommate. I told my roommate that I was in the mood for a sad movie, and she put on Brokeback Mountain for us to watch, and I've never seen Brokeback Mountain before. Um, but it made me cry so hard I thought I was gonna throw up. Like I was sitting there at the end of the movie, the credits were rolling, and I was like clutching my stomach and sobbing. It was like, and I felt sick for the full next day. Like that's too much. That's too much. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So I'm not even gonna talk about Beloved right now because it just makes me so sad. I do recommend it if you can handle that sort of sadness. Um, and I am going to skip the last book because I'm bored.